We all love the cute little puppies we see at the pet store. We all want to buy one and take one home and love it. But how many of us stop to think about where these puppies come from or what kind of condition that their parents are kept in? According to an article published by the PuppyMill.org, approximately 2.5 million puppies are born in puppy mills annually, and more than 400,000 breeding stock dogs are imprisoned in these kennels. This is where these cute little puppies in these stores come from, and you don't even want to know what conditions that their parents are being kept in. Puppy mills are bad news, and people should not buy puppies from the places that are supplied by them. When I first heard about puppy mills in the 90s, I thought they were just a myth. Once I started researching the subject, what I found was so unbelievable that I couldn't stop. I even took part in signing on an online petition for better legislation for protecting the animals from being subject to these such horrors. On December 1st, 2009, Governor Doyle signed the Wisconsin Act 90 into law. This legislation ensures that breeders provide humane care for animals and also regulates animal cares in shelters. In June of 2011, Act 90 went into effect. Many breeders and sellers came into compliance under Act 90. This legislation made a huge difference in the lives of thousands of dogs in Wisconsin. Not every state has legislation to protect animals from these mills. Even in the states that do, many slip through the cracks and continue to operate. Puppy mills are inhumane, and the animals receive bare minimal to no medical care. According to the May of 2013 veterinarian report on puppy mills by the HSVMA, breeding dogs in puppy mills often suffer from injuries and disease that go untreated. Injuries and disorders that do not affect the reproductive capabilities are rarely treated. In addition, eye and skin disease are common disorders that are often overlooked and untreated. Also, according to the same veterinary report, sometimes puppy mills staff practice veterinary medicine without a license. Examples include performing surgical procedures such as tail docking, ear cropping, dew claw removal, and surgical births, giving prophylactic antibiotics, attempting to diagnose and treat disease with prescription medications, and administering cold suppressants to mask sounds and signs of illness. If that wasn't bad enough, the animals often are denied adequate food and shelter. Oftentimes the water is dirty and or frozen, and the food is soiled and stale. If the dogs are kept outside, they are often not provided adequate protection from the elements. These are definitely inhumane conditions, and along with having deplorable condition, puppy mills also contribute to pet overpopulation. These irresponsible breeders breed dogs every heat cycle. While inhumane conditions and contribution to pet overpopulation should be bad enough to get these mills closed down, there's more. Dogs from puppy mills may have behavioral and health problems. There are many health problems associated with puppy mills. According to an article written by the Humane Society in 2012, when 80 dogs were rescued in July 21st, 2011 from a puppy mill in Hartford, North Carolina, a veterinarian with a local intake SPCA reported that almost 50% of the dogs were afflicted with parasites. 23% suffered from ear infections. 15% suffered from various eye disorders, including KCS. a very painful condition, and all the animals older than 18 months showed evidence of moderate to severe periodontal disease. One of the dogs had such a severe dental disease that she required 32 dental extractions, while others had periodontal disease so severe that it led to eroded jaw bones. 6 dogs suffered from skin disease secondary to urinary soaked matted fur. According to the same article, when more than 100 dogs were removed from a puppy mill in Stuarts-Draft, Virginia in August of 2009, findings from 200-page state veterinary report indicated that out of 80 dogs examined, more than 60% of them suffered from a disorder serious enough to require emergency veterinary care. More than 80% suffered from parasites. Almost 40% were underweight. More than 35% of them suffered from dehydration, and more than 40% suffered from an eye disorder such as conjunctivitis, ocular infection, or KCS. Many of the severe underweight or ill dogs were also pregnant, affecting the survivability of their offspring. The long-term effects of the confinement and deprivation at puppy mills can be psychological as well as physical. Dr. Frank McMullen, DVM, with James Serpell and Deborah Duffy of the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine, conducted a study on the psychological effects of puppies at puppy mills. The study was reported in USA Today, October 10, 2011. The research surrounded more than 1,100 former puppy mill dogs that have been in their new homes an average of 2 years. These dogs were found to have a significant elevated level of fear and phobias, compulsive and repetitive behaviors, and a heightened sensitivity to being touched. Also, compared to regular pet dogs, the former puppy mill dogs have a 6 to 8 times higher chance of scoring on the highest ranges for fear. According to Dr. McMullen, studies gives us a strong evidence that the dogs are kept in long-scale breeding facilities don't just suffer while they are confined there, but they carry the emotional scars out with for years, even when they are placed in a loving home. I don't know about you, but what is enough information for me to know that I don't want to support puppy mills in any way. It is sad to think that any living creature would have to undergo these conditions. The unfortunate facts are puppy mills are inhumane for many reasons, including minimal to no medical care and inadequate food and shelter. They contribute to pet overpopulation by breeding every heat and producing mass quantities of puppies and dogs that eventually end up in shelters. And there are many physical and psychological effects on the animals in puppy mills. Although some legislation does exist to help regulate the conditions for puppy mills, it is simply not enough. You can help fight against these cruel and inhumane conditions. Visit sites such as the puppymillproject.org or prisonersofgreed.org, or simply Google the term puppy mill to obtain more information and to see how you can help stop the abuse. Most importantly, do not buy puppies from pet stores. Attempt or adopt from shelters or responsible breeders instead.